Hello again. This is Wendy Down with your next recording in this Consciousness Playground Future of Aging series. This is recording number 5 in our series, and I'm calling it Your Future, Today's Art Project. On this recording, I'm going to guide you to become aware of and familiar with the you that lies in the future, that you actually have all the tools and all the creativity within you already to be able to paint, create, feel, get to know, and therefore live into. To get the most out of yourself, to tap into the most of those inner resources, therefore, you're going to want to remove all distractions and have this time that we have together to purely listen to my voice, follow the guidance, and pay attention to what's going on within you, the information that's coming up within you, the energy that appears, the pictures, the images that are going to be very interesting and exciting for you. And that means tuning out all outside distractions, noises, activities, and just be present here and now. In our Western culture in particular, we tend to mostly operate from what we call a left brain perspective, which is thinking of the future and the past and the present in terms of a time sequence, past, present, future. We have an underdeveloped relationship to the right side of our brain, or the more creative quantum perspective that's also equally present within us, also equally available to us. And it's that right side, or that quantum side, that we mostly want to work in today. If you've heard of the neuroscientist Jill Bolte Taylor, she's a woman who's written a wonderful book. I think it's called My Stroke of Insight. And she describes her experience of having completely lost, because of a stroke, her left-sided brain function. And she lived for a period of time, months I believe, only in the right side of the brain, where she experienced pure presence, in the moment presence, the ability to know bliss beyond anything she'd ever known before, the ability to sense energy and feel so big and so expanded and so aware that it was just magical for her. And it's that side of ourself that has so much information about our future that's so encouraging and exciting, and that's where we want to go. And specifically where I want to guide you to go to get what your right side, your expanded self, has to say about your future, which is very different from what the left brain, or what our beliefs about aging and time, lifespan and time and all that would suggest to the contrary. Let's dive right into this then. And the first thing I want to do is have you become aware of and let go of old habits or patterns or tendencies to only view the future from that linear time frame, from the left brain point of view. To do that, I want you just to bring into awareness something that will feel a little bit uncomfortable perhaps when you think of the future. And I'm asking you to do that because as you bring it forward, what you're then subsequently going to notice is that it falls away. And in fact, after playing this recording and doing this work, you'll likely find that it has vanished completely. So to bring that forward, let's have you just, for a moment, think of the future and allow any fears that you might have, any trepidation, any worries about what might lie ahead or what likely lies ahead when you think of how we typically think of age and aging in our society. And as you do that, you may notice some uncomfortable feelings coming up in your body that you don't like the feeling of. You might even be tempted to switch off the recording at this point because you think I'm leading you someplace that you don't want to go. But what I'm going to do is actually lead you right through those pieces of emotional baggage that almost all of us carry, so that moving forward from here, these feelings, these concerns, these worries, these thoughts are not even present. And in fact, they will be so vanished, so not a part of you, that you won't even notice that they were ever a part of your being. But for now, they are. And so just quietly let yourself think about others. Think about others in your family, perhaps, others that you've known that are further down the timeline, older than you are now. And you'll know some that have had later years that you would not want to live. And just let the thoughts about those folks and about your own unknown future arise. And as you do that, please take your attention into your body and just notice places in your body right now as you think about that unknown future. Notice places that feel tight or uncomfortable, where there's, let's say, energy that's swirling. We don't need an emotion or a word to describe what the feeling is. Just notice that there's baggage there. And as you simply put your awareness on the sensations, no longer think about the future, but just think about the sensations, or notice the sensations that are arising in your body. I want you to notice that as you do that, they start to diminish. And I also want you to know that as you do that, I'm working on them from this end. I can sense, feel, and be aware of those same patterns. And as together we bring them to the forefront of our awareness, together we allow them to pass out of your experience, sort of like waves that come and go. And you can just watch that wave of feeling or sensation or emotion as it passes through you. It doesn't have to stick around. It doesn't have to be part of your future. And this is actually how all of our emotional systems are designed to work. For an emotion to arise, for us to turn our attention to it and allow ourselves to fully feel it as it is without needing to escape it or avoid it or think about it, but simply fully feel it as it passes through the structure of our emotional system. And as we do that without resisting it, without needing to change it, without needing it to be smaller or less intense, it rides the wave and passes through. And none of it sticks to us. None of it remains. None of it gets carried forward. And as you simply notice that, you may find that you're getting a little unfocused. You may be feeling neutral. You may be feeling quite peaceful. If you are, you can invite another thought about the future, a fear or worry to arise in you. Feel for the wave of emotion associated with that thought, and just with curiosity, see how intense it gets, see where in your body it sits. And let it pass. From our normal, again, left brain or linear point of view, we see ourselves as time-limited human beings who only have a certain length of time to do what we're going to do in this life. And there's always this sense of time running out. And yet, this is not the case. And today, I want you to know that for yourself. Not just understand it, not just believe it, not just think it's a nice idea, but actually know the truth of it. Because when you know that there is always, always more time, there's always more you, there's always improvement and growth, there's always better things ahead, there's always more learning, and there's never a point where you stop existing. Life takes on a completely different tone. There's never a rush to accomplish or do anything because you know there's endless time. There's never regret over not having done or accomplished something because while your mind can't understand it, you feel and know that there's always more possibility, always new opportunities, always exciting new experiences to have in ways that are beyond what our mind can grasp. And so as I'm talking to you, I'm using words to convey a change of state that I'm actually holding in place for you on a deeper level that you may or may not sense or pick up. But let me describe the end point of that state, which is, again, just to simply use the idea of left brain thinking versus right brain. The right brain perspective, the quantum perspective, lives only in the now moment. This is as innate to you and natural to you to only live completely in this now moment and have all of your attention focused fully and deeply into what's happening now. This is as natural and innate to you as perhaps your usual perspective of thinking you move through time. So right now I'm sort of confusing or blurring the boundaries between those two perspectives. And so if it feels a little unfocused, let it be for now. A more accurate description of what life and existence really is that we continually experience this now moment, this moment you're experiencing right now. We continually experience this now moment from an ever-changing perspective, an ever-changing array of perspectives. This now moment you will continue to exist in forever and ever. Your perspective or your point of view or what you're focused on in this now moment will continue to evolve forever, just as it has in the past. And this is a completely different mindset or way of thinking about what life is. You're not moving through time and space. Time and space move through you. And you have endless options to see this now moment from different perspectives. And so right now, let's find one of those perspectives and paint it as a piece of art. And by art, I guess I'm talking about using energy, using emotion, using pictures and symbols and sounds and feelings to create a version of you that is your future. Say 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, however many years, you can pick a number of the version of you that you'd now like to paint or feel as energy art. So this is the exercise we're going to do right now. So choose a time frame if you like. You don't have to. But if you want to define it, just say to yourself, I am now going to create my future self as an art form that I can experience fully and directly right now. And as you do that, let yourself just pay attention to what arises in you. Each of us are different in the way that we work in the quantum field or right brain. Some of us get a lot of pictures. And so you may very quickly get a picture or an image that may or may not make sense to you. All you're doing is just inviting the quantum side of you, the right brain side of you, to present something to you that's informative and mostly gives a feeling to you. Our right brain communicates not in language or words very often, but mostly in symbols and pictures and feelings. And so if an image pops into your mind of yourself or something happening in your future or something that doesn't make sense to you, gratefully accept that image and then notice how that image makes you feel. And the feeling may not be, again, in words of an emotion like happy or joyful. If there were no words to describe it, it probably will just be like a flow of good feeling energy through your body. And just be entranced by the subtleness of that flow. Follow it, go with it, give it free rein to do what it will. This is your huge store of unconscious, subconscious information consciously working with you now in ways that your mind can't track, and let it have its way with you. You're safe. It's you you're working with. You're accessing deep reservoirs of ability, healing, knowing, and transformation that are beyond anything that your left brain or your mind has ever known until this point. And the more you can just let yourself relax into it, the better it feels, and the more potential exists for you to notice real, observable change in your point of view about the future, your feelings about the future, and in your physical structure, biochemically, physiologically. Now, if you don't get an image, if you're someone that didn't see a picture, you can actually work purely with energy in this way to get a feeling sense, again, an energetic sense of the future you. And I'm going to show you one way to access that that's purely quantum. And what I would suggest is to take your hand, right hand maybe, and upturn it as though you would position it for something to drop into, like a ball. And as you do that, invite a feeling, a sensation, a packet of quantum information, a download to drop into your hand. And then using your subtle senses, because it's likely to be extremely subtle, just sense anything that appears to be happening there. You might feel tingling, you might feel heat, you might feel color, there might be a smell. It'll be very subtle. You may sense a change that when you try and use your 5 senses to pick up, you can't pick up with, because it's more subtle than that. And then if you like, take your hand and move it to a part of your body. You can't get this right or wrong. You're just playing now with your energy as art in a way that defies or goes beyond left brain thinking or mental thinking. You're just playing with yourself, your future self, as an art form. And you can be lost in the experience and in the enjoyment of the experience and the discovery that there are realms that you exist on, very subtle, flowing, good feeling realms that are slightly unformed, or very informed, can't be put into words or descriptions, but feel good as you play with them. And then later, days or weeks or months from now, if you look for change in the areas that you currently have had, areas that you would currently have wanted change in terms of your relationship to age or aging, youth or your body, future, death, eternal life, whatever, you'll notice that there will have been transformation that you can't consciously track or explain or describe. And this is where you sit right now. You don't need to control this. You can simply sit in the curiosity and playfulness of being directly in contact right now on the subtle level where your future self is being formed and created out of your own energy. And you're just playing. perhaps with color, perhaps with light, heat, image. Perhaps you're even deeply unconscious by now and still playing. And this is an aspect of ourselves as humans that we've mostly cut ourselves off from because we haven't been able to quantify it, understand it, explain it. But it's the next frontier of both medicine, health, healing, every area of human endeavor where there are breakthroughs, new insights, new experiences, new possibilities arise from this loose, flowing, unformed, but very, very alive, very conscious, very intelligent state of being. At this point, if you want to, you may want to have something to bring back in terms of a focus or a word or an image that after the end of this recording, you can actually say, this is what I got. This is the image I got. This is the feeling I got. This is the potential I grasped about my future self as a result of doing this recording. And you can give that to yourself right now, sort of like a touchstone, that if you ever feel discouraged or worried or fearful, again, you can remember. You can use it to remember this potential that you deeply tapped into today. And so take a moment now and see if there is something formed, an image, word, promise, or feeling that you just want to put into words or picture that you can capture the essence of this exercise, which was mostly unformed, very transformative. And if you get something, you can write it down or draw it or describe it. Take a moment to do that. And actually what I would suggest is that you tuck that image or that word or phrase or whatever into your calendar 3 months from now. Because you will have long forgotten that you did this exercise 3 months from now. And you, by that point, will be different. You will feel different about the future. You'll feel different about yourself. And you won't consciously link this recording or this exercise with that change. In fact, you probably won't notice it because it will feel so natural. We never notice absence. And you will have absenced something that was baggage or no longer suits you anymore. And you won't notice it unless you go looking for it. And that's why I'm suggesting to take what you're getting from this exercise as a touchstone, an image, a word, a feeling, and putting that as a note or a comment in your calendar 3 months from now so that you remind yourself to see how different you've become by then. And with that, I'm going to end this recording and look forward to being in contact with you again, I guess on Friday, with your tip of the day on how to apply this recording to your life in a way that will give results or give you notice that you've had results by Friday. And also, I look forward to sharing more information about the Youth Think program that I'm launching September 1st on my 50th birthday, and which I'm really excited about. So, as always, feel free to leave a comment on the Consciousness Playground blog page where you see this posted, and we'll be in touch again soon. Bye for now.